Hi everyone, my name is Arsam, and today I want to share with you a project that I was recently working on. It took me 4 to 5 hours to kind of finish this at the stage we are right now. This is an inventory management application, and so let's get into it. This video is basically presenting a very simple but yet very powerful tool that helps you track stuff, right? It helps you track, manage, and update inventory items, right? So I want you guys to think of like a factory where there's a bunch of stuff, right? And you want to make sure that you remember what stuff you have and how much do you have of each stuff, like the quantity as well. That's basically where the idea came from. But my personal motivation for doing this is, and I've been a victim of duplicating things or buying things over and over again. So let's think like markers, for example. I already bought markers, but then I forgot that I bought them. And so I end up buying them again, or with notepads, or with like so many things in life, right? So it's just like a super useful way to keep yourself accountable to things that you've already bought, or to keep yourself accountable to things you have so that you don't lose track of them, right? Um, and additionally, this was also my first project working with Firestore, which is a NoSQL database, and my first time working with React Next.js. Actually, I worked once with React in my internship last year, but it's my first time working with Next.js and Material UI, which I use for styling. Also, all of the code is going to be on my GitHub, Avid Thinker or some, so you can drag it all from there. So next, let's look at a demo to see what sort of features and functionality we have in this application and how I built it. So first of all, this is how it looks like. So I'm hosting it locally over here. It's called inventory management. You can search for items and you can add items essentially over here, right? And so we'll get to this in 1 second. Before that, I want to show you guys the code and how it looks like. So unfortunately, I don't have all of the history in my terminal. But with Node.js, what you can do is you can basically make like a folder. It's going to be pretty easy for you to find this on Google. There's like some commands you have to run, and then you have to configure how you want your system to be set up. And it's actually going to give you all of these files. So the only files I actually made changes to was page.js, which is really just my functional code. And then I added firebase.js, which is the API from Firestore. And so that's going to basically be the database for my project. These are the only two files you would need to add manually. Like Firebase, you have to add manually, and page.js, you have to edit. All the other files can be given to you if you just make a Node.js application. All right, perfect. So when you have the initial thing, it's just going to be like a black screen with the name of the project. So inventory management in that case, and then you can configure it. And so I'm going to show you guys, this is my database. It's called Firebase in Firestore, and we have collections. And then within collections, we have documents, right? That's the way to think about this. Let's just take a look. So we can add an item over here, and let's say it's already showing me, but I'm going to add Arsam again here. So once you add Arsam, it says Arsam quantity one. And then you can remove this or you can add more to this, right? So now if we go back to our database, you can see Arsams up there and then quantities too. Um, you can also add something else, or I could just show you one more thing, which is if you add Arsam again, it's not going to make a new row, it's going to add it over here. So it's going to understand this already in the database, update it as well. And it's going to showcase over here. What else could we add? So I have an eraser, right? So I'm going to add this thing, like a duster, I guess. So let's just call it a duster. So we're going to add this. It's going to show quantity one, and if we go to our database now, we can see there's a duster as well, right? So that's pretty good. Updates in real time. And you can remove stuff that works as well. You can search for stuff that will show you the stuff, right? Um, I don't know, like banana, it's not going to show up. And so that's basically the basic functionality we have as of now. So you can add items, you can remove items, you can track them basically, and you have a database. So now let's take a look at the code as well. So we start off with this. This stuff you're just going to get from your Firebase account. It's going to be your unique stuff, and then the other code is going to be same. So I highly recommend you can just copy this and just change this with your own key so that you have a connection with your own database. All right. With page.js, let's walk us through, right? So I'm basically telling it to like display this on the client side, and then I'm importing a bunch of stuff from like different stuff. So React, Firebase, Firestore, and MUI. Um, this is stuff we need to get information and to push information to our database. This is all stuff that's going to help with formatting. This is Firestore stuff, and this is like React stuff, which is going to help us move things. And basically, these are like hooks essentially. If you don't know what React is, I did not know as well. And this is a very beginner-friendly project, by the way. So if you're someone who's looking to start how to learn React, start with this. Over here, we're just defining states, and then I'm updating inventory. So I'm like thinking about some errors, some edge cases, right? And that's basically it. And then we have add item, which is a function that we define as well. And what this does is checking if it's a string. If your input that I added, right, in this case, if it's a string, because you don't want an empty item to be added, right? That should not be the case. That should not be the case. So it's not the case, which is great. Um, So that's what it's checking. Um, if it already exists, it's going to add one, else it's going to make a new one. And then after you're done, it's actually going to delete whatever you wrote in your text box because it just doesn't look good if you already pushed awesome to your database, but it's still over there in the text field, right? It just doesn't look good for user experience. So just those small things. Similarly for remove item, copy paste code, but you make some changes to this. And then this is all basically UI, right? So you can copy this from my GitHub if you're interested, and you can make your own amends. And maybe you can come up with something beautiful, right? But I took some headache to like add these features of like if you observe the boxes increase in size when you hover over them. These ones could change color when you like go over them. So like sort of that stuff. But this is basically what it is. Took me like 4 hours to make this, learn everything from scratch, and you should do it as well if you're a beginner. All right. So, what were some challenges? My first project, I loved it. Great introduction. One issue I had was a hydration issue. And what that means is Firestore, if I remember correctly, Firestore only serves the stuff on the client side, but Node.js serves it on both the client and the server side. And so I was having an issue with it. And so the way we resolved it was by telling Node.js to only serve it on the client side. So there's no clashes, right? Another issue I had was when I would type stuff, or when I would remove stuff, my inventory management would move up and down, right, because of the space. And so I had to figure out how to align them properly because that's very important. And then I also try to like store it by order, which is Firestore, our database. It organizes things alphabetically, but that's not necessarily good because you want to remember, things in the way you actually bought them or you own them, right? So if I got my marker after my duster, right? So I want it to be in the order of when I actually got them, right? What we can do next? And this is the part that actually makes me so excited because there's literally so much stuff that can be done over here, right? Yeah, I want you guys to think like big picture. Like this thing can be configured into a Google Calendar. You can add a notification system over here. You can have like 7 days, and you could also integrate a voice system where you could just speak to the app, and then you could just like fit your schedule or something. We could also add like a camera system over here, right? So you can connect this to your mobile, and then let's say you see an item. Let's say you see like a chair somewhere in a mall, and you're like, this is great. I want to buy this. Maybe not now, but like in a month or 2 months or something. And so you could just take a picture of it, and then the picture is automatically going to be on your to-do list or like some sort of list. And then you can just speak the price and the position. You could tag it with Google Maps, and you could just like literally put the position over there as well. What I'm trying to say is, this is just the skeleton. The future is AI, and I consider myself as an AI engineer. And so these are some of the updates I'm going to be working on. But here's the big catch, right? There's just so much stuff that you can do. And this has led me to this understanding that I have to start thinking product, right? Software engineering has been cool for a very long time, but now the world is moving beyond software engineering. Now it's about, are you an AI product engineer? Can you think product? Can you ship products? And can you integrate AI systems in your product? And so the beauty lies in not doing a lot of things. It lies in saying no to a lot of things because there's just so much stuff that you can do that you can't actually do because you don't have enough time. And so you have to be very clear about what is it that you want specifically to do, and just say no a lot of times. But yeah, that's basically the end of this video where I share this project with you. And I personally learned a lot, enjoyed a lot, and I know I'm super stoked to work on some AI features next on this project. And once again, if you have any questions, happy to answer any or all of them. And if you found value from this video, I do urge you, and it would mean a lot to me if you could like, share, and subscribe. Just take a screenshot of this video, put it on your story. Just do the stuff yourself, and then like tag me on LinkedIn, or share it with your friend who's your coding partner, and both of you could like figure this out and like take this to the next level. And if you do use this and you make something out of it, please let me know because I want to see what you guys come up with, and perhaps that's going to teach me something that I don't know. But with that said, yep, that's all. Take care, work hard, and have a lot of fun. Bye bye.